I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
What is going on here, number one?
Engage!
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Slow to impulse speed. Stay calm, everyone. What is going on here, number one?
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Strange.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
I shouldn't be so confident.
I'm picking up an unusual disturbance in the nearby quadrant.
Stay calm, everyone. I shouldn't be so confident.
Engage! On screen.
What the hell is going on?
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Strange.
Make it so.
I don't know.
No response, sir.
Enlarge and identify.
In my opinion, sir, they're gibberish.
I'm picking up an unusual disturbance in the nearby quadrant.
Engage. Move to intercept.
I shouldn't be so confident. Slow to impulse speed.
I would rather outthink them than outfight them.
Slow to impulse speed.
Stay calm, everyone.
I shouldn't be so confident.
Let's investigate. Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough! Engage. Let's investigate. Engage.
Slow to impulse speed.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
I would rather outthink them than outfight them.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
I don't know.
We must intervene.
Siete.
Slow to impulse speed.
What the hell is going on?
I'm picking up an unusual disturbance in the nearby quadrant.
On screen. Make it so.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
I would rather outthink them than outfight them.
Slow to impulse speed.
I'm Captain Picard.
They seem normal enough.
Stay calm, everyone. Engage.
Slow to impulse speed.
I shouldn't be so confident. Enlarge and identify. Stay calm, everyone.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timelines Talk. Featuring guest stars. The fact of the matter is, oh my, it's stars and garters. Also featuring, more like command tips suck, look out, it's Automaton 2000. And now, there's no way he gets this intro right. Here's your host, Captain Idol. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. To the most prestigious event in Star Trek Timeline's history. The #1 premium anticipated event of the year. The Timelines Talks Award Show 2020.
Yes, and welcome to the most prestigious award show of the year. It is the Timelines Talks Award Show 2020. I am joined here, as always, by my very American co-host Automaton 2000 and Stars and Garters, and we are here tonight to celebrate the best, the brightest, and the most important features of Timelines Talks and of the game Star Trek Timelines this year. Gentlemen, how has your 2020 been?
A lot better now that I'm here with you guys.
The alcohol is flowing. I think we're all going to be okay.
I think we're fine. Yes, this week we will be having our award show where we'll be celebrating various things throughout the year. And we've got a few categories which we will be talking about. And everyone in chat can join us too. Top of the order, though, we do need to talk about the big teething issue, if we can talk about it with our fabulous suits on and the wonderful act of patriotism that Auto is showing there. But we do need to talk about the Adira Tal issue, and I believe this is sort of hot on everyone's minds at the moment. The art swap that happened just as we decided we were going to take a week off for the holidays, it all came crumbling down. So yes, we need to talk about that and sort of what has happened and what is now the what has evolved from that conversation. So for those that aren't aware, do you guys want to take us through the events that happened? For what everyone
No,
missed?
you weren't paying attention and clearly you didn't care.
I was just giving you guys some time to talk while I sort of loosen my neck because I think all the blood has been cut off from my head.
Clearly you don't wear a tie often enough. Nope. So the long and the short of it is the third part of this Discovery Mirror Mega. I'm pretty sure it's the third part. The ranked reward was Adira Tal, and they was Command or Dip, and then Eng, and it was quite a good Voyager. And they had the art, which I believe featured in Discovery Season 3, Episode 5, Episode 6.
Correct.
Where they're wearing sort of essentially a trill bath towel, and everyone was like, "Okay, this is a cool variant, not quite the skill set I expected for that." But it's cool. Like it's good that this character has got some good representation, and everyone was furiously sending out their shuttles and spending time as galore. And then I think it was literally about an hour before the event ended, people were noticing, wait, why has the art on Adira changed? Why has it gone from the bathrobe to her EDF outfit from I think episode 3? and events ensued.
They did indeed. I think the crux of the matter was shortly after Shan came out and said, all apologies, but we need to change the artwork. And it was very sort of short and succinct, and this is what we're doing. And needless to say, various members of the community were outraged at this because, and as some people sort of pointed out, this wasn't the card they were gunning for. I'd imagine the difference between doing it 5 minutes before the event to 5 minutes before the event ended is a little bit astronomic. So as a result, there was a bit of an uproar on the forums. There was sort of discussions everywhere. After a little bit of back and forth and over the Christmas break, which no one can blame the developers for taking their time over this because it was Christmas. We had a bit of time to spend with our families and have a, that's why we were off and we weren't on because, who wants to be here doing this when they could be spending time with their families? No, joke. And Shan came back with...
Are you telling me you didn't rank in that skirmish?
I did. Oh, well, no, I did, and I'm very excited to see... But also, do you want to tell us about the post that Shan put up as a... concluding this sort of... Not necessarily concluding, but sort of putting a stop on the saga, as it were?
Yeah, well, first I'd like to confirm that we are all wearing tuxedo pants underneath the camera, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, in fact, you know what? No name namer, I'm going to just call you out right here. I am wearing pants. These are pants. So go do one.
I'd just like to let everyone know that I'm very comfortable right now.
I like how abusive we are to our own viewers.
They can take it. It's what they come here for.
Yeah, so we will cover, because we love bearing that lead. Next week, we will have WRG Ben on the show. And your typical Q&A, maybe a little shorter than usual. I think he also wants to talk about some Convergence Day festivities, not to undercut the hype. But so that should be a lot of fun next week. And we will be headlining that one with more talk about Adira. I know that's a big issue. People want to talk about it. So as for this week, yeah, we were given an announcement that said three big things of note. Number one, that they are going to change the crew who is currently EDF Adira, the one that everyone won in the event. And it says the changes will be the name change, which already happened, removal of flavor text, musician trait change to saboteur trait, and the shipability name change. So in essence, you are getting the crew that you signed on for back on that Thursday, except for the art change. And to address that, they said in mid-January, they will award this new version with the original art based on how you ranked in that event. So if you were rank 1,000, you get 1 copy. If you were rank 1, you'll get 5 copies. And then in February, they're also going to do a temporary achievement so that you can win 3 additional copies, from my understanding. So it'll all be coming up in the next 2 months, and we'll, of course, cover it more with WRG Ben next week when he's on the show.
Just an aside.
Yeah, and
sorry, go on.
No, well, it's so you were talking about people who took this very seriously. I took this relatively seriously.
Yeah, that's what literally my next question was going to be. How did you guys feel about this?
Yeah, Adira is one of my favorite characters from Discovery Season 3. I think they are a excellent character. I really like seeing their personal journey through the season, and that art with the bath row, as it were. It's like a very symbolic, important moment in their sort of their life story, as it were. And for people who haven't been watching Discovery Season 3 or who don't kind of get what the Ferrari is about, this is equivalent to, okay, here's a 4 or 5 day faction event. You're competing for Enterprise E Picard, right? Not the one we actually have in game. Who would compete for that card? But let's say it's a really, really good stats, and you're like, oh wow, this is a really cool character, a really cool movie. Everyone loves First Contact. And then an hour before the end, they change it to Came in Picard. And you go, okay, but that's not the one I wanted. Even though it's still the same card, it's still the same character, the art is still high quality, you are essentially going in with an expectation of, this is the one I'm getting, this is the one I want, this is the one I want in my crew roster to put on voyages, to put on shuttles, to use in events. And for some people, it matters quite heavily what, I put this up thing in the Discord, which was the reason why a lot of people got annoyed about this was because, to a degree, the art and to a wider extent, the intellectual property, the license, the trappings of Star Trek are the reason why people play this game. And in essence, if you take away the art, if you destroy the illusion that you are competing for EDF Adira versus a collection of stats, then the game loses a lot of its appeal for some people. Like for people who are like, I'm competing for EDF Adira or Adira Tal, it's like, that's a different prospect to I am competing for Voyager number 17 with a base of blah, blah, blah. That's a different thing. And for some people, their ability and their willingness to change the art an hour before the end of the event was like, well, how do I know you're not going to do this in the future with a card that I maybe want even more, or one I'm personally attached to, like say like EV Suit Wolf had been changed, which would have been, that would have been even more catastrophic than the actual course of events that had happened. But for those of you who maybe saw this going off in your Discord servers or on the forums and go, well, what was the fuss about? That's kind of the general gist of why people were unhappy.
Yeah, it's a little bit of I didn't speak up when they came for the Adiras, and now there's no one left to speak up when they come for my Chakotay. It may not. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care about this particular crew or character. I'm not even caught up on Discovery, so there's no emotional resonance for me. But there are crew for whom it would be a big deal. So, I'm not pounding the table, but I can certainly see why it affects them. And this is. It's the crew, especially for big nerds like us. It's a lot more than the stats. It's more than the void score. Everybody plays for a different reason. I know there are certain players I see pop up on Discord or on the forums who are big arena fiends, and that's all they talk about. And they love the arena. They like seeing which crew combos work, which niche crew they can fit in there. There are some who are big time collectors. They want to finish all the vanity collections. For some, it's just the art. I spent more dilithium than I should have to get Socrates in the 6-pack this week, and we'll talk about him later, because that art, I absolutely love that art. So, if they had switched his art after I acquired him, I'd be upset too. So, I think the resolution that they put forth is punishment fits the crime sort of thing. Basically, everyone who competed for Adira is going to keep the stats version and also get more than they would have of the new arts version. So, I'm happy with that. I think you guys are, and I hope after we talk with Ben about this next week, they have some sort of answer about, like you said, if they can do it in the last hour of the event, who's to say they can't do it again? I hope we hear a little bit of something about, well, what are you guys doing to ensure that doesn't happen? But in terms of this little tempest in the teapot, I hope that we'll move beyond that as the robed Adiras begin to flow in the coming months.
There was a very nice post from Shan, because I said there's a little bit of back and forth between Shan and various people sort of getting quite irate on the forums, and a little bit was her telling people, no, just behave, give you time. And there was a post from her that was pretty forthcoming, which surprised me totally, because I think, I haven't got the post in front of me, but it was essentially paraphrasing like, yeah, okay, hands up, we made a little bit of mistake here, but we are working on a solution for this. And, that was quite unexpectedly forthcoming from them. They didn't have to do that. They could have just said, here's the answer. But no, it was very nice of Shan to sort of not work at appeasing their angry masses, but sort of reassuring people that this is being taken seriously. So that was sort of, yeah, definitely. So yes, we'll talk about more about that next week when Ben comes on. We've got a question for him regarding it, so needless to say, we will hopefully be going direct to the source. This week, speaking of events, we had the last part of the skirmish event, which you could win if you were very lucky, a COP Founder Picard for those that want to complete the Originals collection, for those that want another Picard to add to a possible faction event in the future, or those masochists that just want pointless crew to fill up your roster for no real reason. He was there for you. Few notable names on the event list. Congratulations to the winner, Funimations, who, not the largest score we've seen in a skirmish, but it was certainly a heroic effort. Absolutely.
I believe it was the third highest, actually.
Was it the third highest? Oh, actually, I didn't realize it was that much. I only skimmed over the score. LF Flash was also there, another forum goer. We also had Sunkansei.
Siete.
Thank you for sending me your name there so I pronounce it correctly. Let me just do Sunkansei.
Siete.
There you go. Can't get it wrong now, can I? 13th. I've been talking to her in chats lately, and I think she just got into the leaderboards to spite me. But CFOH We Are Borg, another Discord goer, number 14, IPA Gleese, and our very own favourite person, No Name Namer, number 21.
You know, it occurs to me, if I ever were to win an event, I should change my name to something that would be extremely embarrassing for Idle to have to say on
No,
this
because you're
show.
going to be here. I'll make you say it yourself.
There you go. That's a cunning solution.
Okay.
All right, on to the good stuff.
Let's get on to the good stuff. We are going to be doing our awards show. So, gentlemen, shall we have the first category tonight?
I guess.
In the category of Collection of the Year, A Little Stroll, Smoke and Mirrors, The Continuum, The Diplomat and Vulcan Expansions.
Yes, this collection, this set of collections, all introduced in 2020 and possibly one of the biggest arrivals so far. So, gentlemen, which would it be your favourite collection? What do we think is going to be the winner this year? And in this very card, I have the winner that we have that has been chosen by the critics themselves. So, please, let's have a chat about these crew. EVC collection. Sorry, not these crew, these collections.
Real Talking Heads panel, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. I thought it was very satisfying to arrange these on the screen. They just fit in so well. It's very satisfying.
I gotta think the odds-on favorite for this one is Smoke and Mirrors. How long have people been asking about both
Mirror
Klingon collections and Mirror collection? Yeah. We've even talked about that on this on the show before. So, I see chat's going crazy.
Oh yeah,
already guessing who's going to be the big winner. So, my money is on Smoke and Mirrors. What do you think, Stars?
My money is on Diplomat and Vulcan expansions, just because that was unprecedented. Like they've had like the minor expansions of say like a Vanity collection where like a new crew is added, and then you get a bit more dilithium, you get another pack pull, you get all this. But like the bumping up of thresholds by that amount, and of like the added relevance of like, hey, look, that Lincoln you took in a hold, I guess. Well, you probably still don't want to take stars on him, but it's a bit more of a consideration because it's no longer a collection that everyone has done. You need every single purple that comes along. You need a ton of golds, and it's just a case of mitigating the loss of who comes next. And it means that we look at Innovator, we look at Physician, we go, and that's going to change a lot of value for crew going forward, I feel, especially if they continue on how they've been going.
I would like to welcome WRG Ben to the chat. And just so you know, next week when you're on, we're going to be wiping Cheeto stains off on our sweatshirts. This is not what you can expect going forward. But to cap off 2020, which has been sort of a down year, why not? All right.
How about the
Drum
smaller
roll,
ones?
please.
Hang on. Well, let's have a chat about the smaller ones. We've also got EV Suit and the Q collection, both sort of smaller collections, which most sort of veterans manage to finish without trying, but also stat boosting for those needing a little boost in those areas. I think very much worth mentioning.
And named after our very own Stars and Garter's suggestion. So.
I was watching First Contact literally 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Can you believe it?
Were you doing it
Can
in
you
your suit?
believe?
I always put on my suit when I watch Borg movies.
Hey man, you got to pull out the time and you got to get to work.
Okay, and our win. I didn't prepare any drum roll music. I'm so Our winner is A Little Stroll. Wins the category for best collection of 2020.
Nepotism. Who picked the winner here?
It was the critics'
The
choice.
ether.
Critics?
These are all planned out well ahead of time. Of course they were. Okay, our next category is...
In the category of Best Costume Design, Mycelial Culber, Sinister Picard, The Red Angel, Suspiria.
Yes, best costume, the best artwork, the best costume, the best person you'd like to cosplay as at the next Star Trek convention. We have a man who's escaped a realm of mushrooms, a Frenchman putting on a bad English accent, a time-traveling possible mother or daughter, and a child who is a monster.
So Suspiria has a bit of a special place in my heart here because of how she was introduced to the game, or rather introduced to the audience as well through us, because Ben threw that bomb in the room and then decided to jet off at the very end of that Q&A. And I have very fond memories of you scrabbling to try and find a way to reverse transparency so that it would actually show up what the silhouette was, but was black on black.
So if Suspiria wins, we can say for sure that this is rigged by our own tastes, right?
We'll have to check for.
I
kind of
don't
rigging.
know what you're talking about.
We'll have to
My
check for jury
sponsors have
rigging.
no input.
No, all right.
I put down 4 bowls of food in front of the pictures, and whichever one my cat walked over to and started eating from, that's who the winner was.
If I know cats, she probably just looked at it and went, "What are you feeding me?" and walked away.
Walked out of the room.
Yeah, that's why the door was labeled a 5th option.
I gotta say, my top 2 here are going to be Culber and Red Angel, because they both have that really cool, the firefly effect, the aura around them. And I think Mike Culber is probably my favorite. I like the blue color theme. I like the aura. So that would be my pick. But
definitely Picard would be my pick. Look at that costume. I mean, that is a costume. That is Patrick Stewart.
He
having
is
his most fun.
absolutely sinister. And I should like to point out to everyone in the chat who is pointing to various different variants of Worf, because we have gotten very, very many good, well-dressed, gorgeous Worfs this year. I did put them forth in the nomination, just so you know that this is rigged against me as well. None of them got in.
and let's give a little bit of love to Suspiria, because I think she ended up being maybe the 3rd child in game. We've talked about that before. There's Teenager Nog. We had Kestra, Troy Riker, and then I think maybe this might have been the 3rd one. So it was a cool take on it. You have the duality of her in her non-corporeal form, and that being giveaway as Omega is pretty cool too. So the arts fanatics have a little something to play with there.
Definitely makes an interesting bridge crew. Who would you have on your bridge crew? Okay, shall we have the winner, please, for the category of best costume? The Red Angel. Red Angel is this year's 2020's winner of best costume. And as I said to these guys before the stream, I definitely would love to see someone cosplay that at the next Star Trek convention. Okay.
I would like to see Stars and Garters cosplay that.
No, you know who I'll cosplay. I'll have like a suitcase, and I'll open it up, and they'll be like, "Well, here's season 1 Worf, and that's season 2."
Roll a dice.
He's gonna quick change artist.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You'll just see like a Tasmanian style like vortex, and I'll be there.
Our next category is
in the category of Giveaway of the Year, Medic Jet Reno, the care packages, mini event dilithium, the Star Trek Day Behold.
Yes, what was your favourite freebie from 2020? Was it the deal of Labour, Kirk, McCoy, or Uhura? Was it the Medic Jet Reno? Was it a lot of dilithium for essentially a midweek skirmish, or all the fantastic care packages we got throughout the year?
What did he pay me to do the voiceover for? You're just going to read them again after the fact.
I just like to give a little reminder.
He's got a point. He's got you there.
I like to have a little flavour.
By the way, that is fantastic nominee videos put together by Captain Idol. So hats off to you.
That was a good 4 hours.
I helped. I provided moral support.
You did. That's true.
All right, I gotta throw my hat in the ring for the mini event dilithium. It wasn't quite a giveaway because you did have to work for it a little bit, but for the VIP 0 players to get, what was it, 6,500, 7,000 dilithium all at once, that was huge.
That was absolutely a lot.
Yeah, that was like most of it going away, I think. Probably.
And for a skirmish, and it was an unusual skirmish as well, because not only do ship battles not only did ship battles give intel, but also so did the away team missions, which was very odd, a very strange way, but something we'd all like to see again, especially if they're going to offer those dilithium again. That'd be great. Thanks. Cheers.
Just throwing dilithium. Just have it. Take it, you filthy animals.
Take it.
So I'm pulling here for a Medic Reno giveaway just because I chased her in a 6-pack, and it was, as it often is with a 6-pack, it wasn't pretty. And I was like, and then along she came in the portal, and I insta-sighted her, and I used her on pretty much every voyage, and I love the character. I think the art's great. Like, we were talking about, like, best costume design. I do love the transparency of the smock, and I think bits of Tellarite blood all over her and stuff like that. She's very true to the episode, and just a great guard. I'm really, really happy I have her. So I'll pull for that giveaway.
The care packages through the year, I think they've been, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, something like that. I've been a lovely sort of little nod of generosity from the developers to give, obviously they can't give out that amount of dilithium every week, otherwise it was upset game balance, but a voyage token, I know plenty of people that have taken a lot more long voyages. Chronoton's definitely good for newer players. We've all got about 100 supply kits, but shuttle tokens, always welcome. So, that little bit of generosity spread out through the year has been absolutely fantastic, and a testament to the generosity of the developers.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it wins. Does anyone keep track of how many they've done this year? It feels like they've done one a month.
No, I don't think we have.
What, 10, 12?
I feel like it's been at least 10, 12. Yeah, that's about right.
Quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're not an ignoramus like me and you actually remember to recall your voyages before they die, you could have easily run a long voyage and gotten A, your achievement, and B, some of those dilemma exclusive crew, which are still eluding most people, especially.
Or if you like me and use the sort of data core voyage estimator and it says, oh yeah, 10 hours 40, that's fine. Like, why did you fail at 19? Fine. Like, oh god, and this has got about 5 purples on it. All right, fine, recall. I'll just, I'll extend that one. How about the Behold? 3 pretty decent crew in that pack. For those that didn't finish Bones McCoy, you could have got the 5th part for him. Labourer Kirk, who's not shoddy himself, a gunslinger Uhura, who is a decent card with a good collection bonus attached to her.
Now, I believe we also had a Convergence Day, Behold, at the beginning of the year, and it was something like, what, Phoenix Cochran, Dress Lily, and COP founder Picard, I want to say.
I believe it was, yeah.
So I think they just missed the cutoff they didn't get enough votes from the committee to be nominated. But
their application was late this year, didn't make, it was full of errors. There was one of them used crayons. I think that was...
Well, the post is swamped.
There it is, yeah. That's true. Not many postmen. Okay, shall we announce the winner for Best Giveaway of 2020? And our best giveaway is...
Hold on.
Oh, hang on, what?
I was walking up the hill today, and the normal delivery guy had a rented van from the BMW company because they couldn't keep up with how many packages they have to deliver.
Thank you. I'm
glad I interrupted the nominations for that.
I'm scintillated.
That was worth it. Okay, the winner is...
Blow out our ears, please.
Mini Event Dilithium is the best giveaway of the year from Wicked Realm Games. Okay,
I think all the VIP Zero players voted in for that one.
Yeah, there was a huge turnout for that one. Weird. Odd what your votes can do. Okay, our next category is...
In the category of Legendary Campaign Crew of the Year, Determined Paris, Wraith Keiko, Science Officer Spock, Uropente Kirk.
For absolutely legendary crew from this year's campaign premiums, these crew have been nominated. Damn, nearly gave the game away. These crew have been nominated as the best of this year. Your curtain's falling down.
Are you sure you don't want to read off who were in the nominees as well again? Do you want to do that as well?
No, it's fine. You can tell this is well rehearsed. It's fine. You can read them off.
This is a disgusting miscarriage of justice. What a snub that Reverend Phlox is not on this list. How many Med Command crew do we have in the game? Like 3? And he didn't make the list over a 2-skill Kirk? What is this? Who nominated this crew?
Couldn't say. The committee will have to... I think there's going to be some heavy investigation into the jury tampering on that one, but anyway, yes, this if you...
No, you know what? I think I understand why he was snubbed. I think it was a case of they've looked over the bit of the episode that he comes from where he's giving that really heartfelt eulogy to Porthos, and he's like, he would never deny anyone a little hug and a little snuffle for a bit of cheese, and then they just start crying, and they realize like John Billingsley really sells a bit of cheese, and
There's the next
they
Stream
realized-
Deck drop, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
They couldn't have an award. They couldn't have an award show because they would start crying halfway through.
Okay.
That's fine.
Of our picks, Determined Paris, Monster Card, definitely one of my
And
favorites.
Tiny,
And yeah,
I've just seen.
for anyone, I don't know. For ages
He's
when I was
creeping on
making when I was
Keiko real bad.
when I was doing the sideshow lineups, and when we did that on the first year, I just found it incredibly funny between him and Rathel Kirk. Just making them as small as possible just cracks me up every time. So I'm making that a running gag now.
By the way, we're
I'm kind
burying,
of sad that we didn't have him in multiple categories, so you could have had him just grow like smaller and smaller and smaller over the course of the show.
I actually like to think he's
Burying-
looking past Keiko to Spock.
let's hope so. We're burying the news again, but we do have another site advice show coming up for 3 names. In fact, I don't have them in front of me, so I'm not going to mess them up. But it should be coming this week. Holidays have been kind of crazy, so.
I've been busy.
My vote is also for Determined Paris. He has the Voyage Power that'll be there for 2 years. He has Paris events with double-digit factions, diplomat, trade for the collection. So, I
Are you
also
going to tell me
remember
that your
when
favorite? Are you going to tell me that your favorite ice cream flavor is vanilla?
we recapped his episode, and I got to do the voices, and that was fun. So,
Fair. Okay, fair. I'll give you that. Yeah. I'm going to pull for Science Officer Spock here. Miles. Oh god, is that all we're going to do for Keiko? Are we
you
just
sound
gonna
like
go-
a bunch of cats yowling. I don't know.
Miles.
All right, tell us about Spock.
Please, go on.
I'm gonna save everyone. So this card was like kind of ridiculous when he came out because he was, I think, the number 2 science base, or maybe the number 1 for a little while. Absolute monster of an event card. He had all the Discovery events. He had all the traditional Spock events. He has all these traits. And he comes from quite like a fun part of Discovery where he's had his emotional journey, and they're all warping off the Enterprise to experience strange new worlds. And everyone who got him was like, oh, wow, this guy's going to be a really good investment. And then everyone got the chance for a 4 out of 5 copy. And it's always nice when someone who wasn't going to be in the portal for a while becomes widely available, depending, obviously, if you chip in or not. But
I think he was one of the first campaign crew after a long sort of dry spell to make us actually go, yes. And same with Determined Paris. After sort of a big range of sort of very disappointing 2-skillers, we finally had a break with those 2. It was a bit of a nice sort of breather to go, oh, actually, I'm going to get the campaign anyway, but this makes it better. How about our man in the snow, Rurapenthe Kirk?
he's
Someone
festive.
snuck a- Yeah.
He bailed out. He bailed me out early on I don't know, one of my accounts. It was him on the HMS Bounty, and we were smashing fools in the 60,000 ranks in the Admiral's arena. So I really enjoyed his contributions there. I mean, he was the man back before we had Killy and all of those speed up and everything else. So I
was going to say,
appreciate him for
back in
that.
my day, we had onions on our belts, and we had to do the battles ourselves, you lazy bums.
That's true.
Okay. Our winner of Best Legendary Campaign Crew of the Year is Science Officer Spock. Okay.
I should have just gone like the little.
Sorry, I didn't hear you over the desk pounding. Who was that? Who won?
Science Officer Spock was the winner of that
Thank you.
category. I should have come up with some better exit music. I got nothing rather just to go, why?
We should have heard the tricorder instead. That's our go-to for everything.
No. Okay.
Oh, I'm your cyan guy now. I'm like, I've been demoted.
You're the guy from Police Academy who just makes the noises.
Oh god.
Okay, our next
Thanks.
category.
Exactly who I always wanted to be.
Our next category is
In the category of Best New Crew for the Underappreciated Character, Niners Ezri, Prisoner Kim, Mokbara Crusher, Krenanges Chakotay.
yes, these crew which are Otto. You're gonna have to talk us through this underappreciated metric here, I think, because I've noticed there's a Chakotay in there.
People are throwing garbage onto the stage at the winner of the last. Hey, don't blame us, all right? All we do is sift through the nominations, make sure the votes get counted.
Yeah. We're being
The
watched.
Vulcan Voting Association has determined that all other winners are impossible.
Signs.
Actually, I think I'll throw it to Stars in a second because he has experience with this, and I'm sure he wants to tell us about the articles that he wrote. But so these were crew who did not have a lot of great gold representation. So Esri had no golds. Prisoner Kim, well, Harry Kim, besides being stuck at Ensign forever, had Beowulf, and Captain Harry Kim was okay, but Prisoner Kim was such a voyage monster when he came out that apparently the voting committee thought he belonged on this list. Mokbar Crusher has a lot of gold, but this is easily the top side. I don't think she's had a gold for the previous 2 years or something. Maybe Merryman Crusher, but statistically they're not great. And then Chakotay has Temporal Prisoner Chakotay, but he's 3.5 years old at this point. The numbers are not great, so for him to kick the door in with Diplomat and great voyage power and a big base and science, I think that's his only science representation. So I think that's why the voting committee picked those 4 crew.
Yeah, so you mentioning I have experience with this. Back when I was more active on the subreddit, I used to have like a little column that I wrote, which was Tales of the Unappreciated, which was crew that had a few really, mediocre to okay-ish purples, and often not no golds or ones that were terrible. And the very first one I believe I wrote was for Scotty, because at the time, Claymore wasn't the thing, Triple Herder wasn't the thing, it was just dressed uniform. And dressed uniform is terrible. And Captain Scott, who is even worse. And I was like, this is like, here's some cool stuff about James doing here's the best of his worst variants. And then I think around about 6 months or maybe a year afterwards, Triple Herder Scotty appeared and he's still a kind of a revelation whenever you see him in a gold. It's like, and then I did my second one, and it was for Esri because she didn't have a single gold in the game, and it was just Waitress Esri at the time. And I was like, there's like a lot of potential here. She did quite a bit in that 7th season. Like, arguably her best variant would have been like Sniper Esri, but we already have her as a blue. And I was like, well, we could have like non-canon Spartan Esri from the Battle of Thermopylae. That'd be cool. Or mind-diffusing Esri. And I mentioned Nina's Esri, and I just like linked the bit from Take Me Out to Holsworth, where she does the fancy dance, does the flip, and catches the ball. It's like I'm really glad that she made it in here, because it's really nice for crew that don't have a ton of representation or have bad cards to just get like a shining moment in the sun, so you get to use them on your roster more often.
Absolutely. I would say Crusher is probably the least of the underappreciated. Okay, she's got quite a lot of golds. They're not the greatest, but they are functionally okay. We've got Beverly Crusher in the Honor Hall, who is okay at Gauntlet. She's not the best, but if you have no one else, that's worth it. We've got Merryman Crusher, who has med sec to some degree, not amazing. We've also got Age of Sail Crusher, who again has that med combination for those that are looking for it that doesn't have the hitters. So I think she's not underappreciated. She's just underutilized, I would say. But
well, here's the thing: Crusher's had 3 events in the history of the game. Someone like Kirker's had 20, so there's a little bit of a gap there.
Yeah, true.
And she hasn't had an event since, let me check my notes, November of 2018.
Oh,
That's
wow.
a long stretch to go without a single event. So she has had some variants, but she hasn't been in the public consciousness in quite a while. So
okay, right.
I could see her winning this category.
Could you? How is that?
Could you indeed?
If I had any sort of inside information, I could imagine that would happen.
We are receiving this just now. Okay.
By the way, would you like to buy some property in North Dakota? I know a guy who can get you a fantastic deal. The best.
Okay. Our winner for the category of Best New Crew for the Underappreciated is Nina's Esri is the winner. Congratulations. I think that was a popular vote. She won the popular vote on the chat for sure. Our next category is...
In the category of Offer of the Year, Leap Year Dilithium, the Honor Sale, Placeholder Dilithium Behold, Nanoprobe Flux.
Yes, we have these fantastic offers for you to choose between. I have to ask Auto, how did those placeholder dilithium deals get in?
I think the voting committee is drunk. I don't even know if that's from this year. I don't remember. Okay, so they, to my recollection, they had some kind of deal where they sold B golds or something for cash, and the only way they could get it to appear in the time portal is to put these placeholder beholds. But they didn't want people just buying beholds for dilithium, so they made them outrageously expensive. So it's like, what, 16,000 dilithium for big gold or something. So that was so funny. I'm sure the voting committee was yanking our chain on that one.
That's why they're the #1 premium exclusive award show for Star Trek Timelines on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the only one, but that's fine.
No. Well, yes, but no, but yes, but all right.
Yes. Well, yes,
Well,
but
yeah.
actually, yeah.
But actually,
I'm gonna pull one out here for Nanoproflops, just because I believe Ben is in the chat right now, and he was the one who was in charge of that decision of putting him in the honor hall and finally updating it, because it's been a long time since we had a crew put in there. And he's such a wonderfully weird and odd card, where he's proper Eng med, like it's like the primary secondary. It's a really iconic moment from Enterprise, even if you don't think that episode was particularly interesting, because like a lot of people were like, "Oh, the boring Enterprise was," but it's a cool moment. I think it's really cool, and it shows Phlox acting outside of his normal wheelhouse, and Phlox is easily one of the best parts of Enterprise. So I'm really glad that this moment got immortalized and that he's available for all to enjoy if you airlock enough 1-star Harry Kims.
all right. Idle, get the Mariner Stream Deck hit ready, because it is far and away the honor.
I love honor. I demand honor. Close enough.
Sale. It has absolutely changed the way that we all play the game.
It really has.
There's speculation abounds. When's the next one coming? People are circling dates on the calendar. People are saving all of their honor. This is a smash hit. Every single person in chat has voted for honor sale. So I think the committee, thankfully we've kept their names anonymous, but I think people will be trying to figure out who's on the voting committee if honor sale doesn't win this year. That being said, if we're talking about the best single offer, it could easily, I could see leap year dilithium winning. This was 25 of your regional currency quatlus for 23,000 dilithium.
That was a lot. And if I remember rightly,
It was a lot.
was just before. This was kind of the transition period between Disruptor Beam and Wicked Realm Games. So there was a thought in the community that this was very much we're on our way out. Have that. Bye.
And judging by what we have on screen right now, you could buy an entire legendary behold with that deal. So that makes it pretty spectacular value. But if we're not talking, if we're bending the rules,
you could buy that
honor sale.
You could buy that behold, and then it would open. It would say behold, and then you'd have Ambassador Saval and J.G. Palmer and Gabrielle Burnham, and then you'd be like, "Yeah, this is what I signed up for."
I wouldn't be sad for another J.G. Palmer. She is an astronaut.
Yeah,
okay, so the winner for this category is. It's the honor sale! Of course it is! Yeah! Literally changed how the game is played. And I would just like to announce that I'm also particularly excited if we are, nudge nudge wink wink, getting another honor sale. Yes, please. I now have over 1 million honor to spend, so
1 million honor.
Shabba-dabba-doo, million.
Oh, right.
WRG Ben has left the chat. Just pops up. It's like, he's not going to give you any kind of resolution on that.
It's on the phone, quick. Right. Okay, our next category is...
In the category of Super Rare Campaign Crew of the Year, sponsored by the VIP Zero Foundation. Grathon Tolar, Admiral Owen Paris, Tyrann-possessed Kess, Aromatic Syndrome Picard.
Technical problem in the sound booth there as the music cut out, but we'll make sure what's happening there. Yes, super rare crew that appeared in campaigns this year and especially sponsored by the VIP Zero crowd, who were the most most of the benefactors from these crew. Some fantastic crew here. Definitely game changers for a lot of people, getting them at 4 of 4 who are on that free-to-play cycle.
I'm shocked that Amanda Grayson wasn't in there. She's been working it on a lot of rosters. Snubbed.
Actually,
robbed.
We realized about 5 minutes before we started the show, we should have done an in memoriam for Richard Hurd and Admiral Owen Paris.
For those we lost this year.
We touched on him in a previous episode. We covered him, and hopefully we did him justice then. But as a card, as a game changer, I don't know if he quite does what some of the other crew do here. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna stump out for Kess on this because she's such a wonderfully weird card, massive command base, which is useful for res even if it's no bonus. Command med, which is just like that's the true sweet spot of skill sets now. And it's this thing I've talked about in the past of almost every Kess variant is just a little bit weird, and I like that about it. Also, having about halfway through my Voyager rewatch, also a really good episode for Jennifer Lien. Really, she threw herself into that role with much gusto.
Maybe her best.
Yeah, she needed more episodes.
I'd agree with
rather
that.
than sort of standing a sick bay going, yes, doctor.
But if we're voting, if the voting committee is voting by episode, surely Grathon Tular has to be up there, right?
Well,
is that not
in terms
one of the all-time
episodes,
classics?
Definitely.
It's a fake.
And it was Nias
I
holding
guess
the
who
fake.
crafted that fake? The fake rod was crafted by Grathon Tular, so he's a pivotal character in that episode. He does also have a _1 base in engineering, so I can see.
I thought you were about to say he had a #1 signal out, and I was like, what?
He's dropping straight fire in the Gamma Quadrant.
Garrett just has a guest burst on one of the tracks, which is called Overlifted, with the impression that the doorframe may explode.
He's crafting the rod on a mixing table,
Can I just express my disappointment that Picard in season 1 of Star Trek Picard did not have that beard and that outfit on? They could have had a little continuity. That would have been quite nice with the hat. But no, that was a shame, Essentially,
They
could have had a symbolic shaving as he goes out to do to space again. Yeah,
typical movie moment. You have a shave, you're ready for business. That's why we never do.
Yeah. I remember was this I think it was after the transition. Was it Wicked Realm at the time? Anyway, whoever was in charge, they wrote up the campaign announcement, and in talking up Aromatic Syndrome Picard, I'll never forget this. They highlighted his gardener trait as if that has ever mattered for anything in the history of the game. I'm like, I'm shelling out $10 now. I got to get that gardener trait.
Gardener collection, man, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, I'll be down for that Gardener collection. Who's in that? Who is in?
It's it'd be him, Boothby, and I'm sure there's a Kess in there because she was always in the Airponics Bay.
That's true. Definitely. Okay, our winner for the category of Best Super Rare Campaign Crew of the Year, sponsored by the VIP Zero Foundation, is Tyrann Possessed Kez.
Yeah, I don't think we have too many snubs. I think this list captured the 4 best pretty well. There were a few stinkers on there, like Amanda Grayson saw. I'm happy to see Kess win. Like you said, it's all those weird variants she has, which is it's pretty neat. So,
okay,
we should all be so lucky.
For our next category, Wicked Realm games, Ben, please turn your attention away from the screen now.
In the category of Gaff of the Year, the Adira Art Change, the Offer Wall, the EV Suit Tubot Pack.
So yes, there were a few notable, shall we say, community issues with the game this year. We thought, as we're rounding up the year, we might as well go and sort of round them up. Please take it away.
I feel really bad because Ben is having fun in the chat asking if we really want to go.
Not anymore.
I've run this guy's all day. No. Shall we talk about the biggest whale in the room, the offer wall, which happened this year, which of course we had quite a hand in talking about 3 hours worth of drinks talking about, I think.
I fucking quit.
Literally.
Actually, I do have to say, we did have the drunk stream because of it, so it wasn't all bad. I did have fun getting totally smashed and not knowing what beholds we were playing. So
Yeah.
How have you gotten so many fucking golds? I went 40 packs without a gold today.
Yes.
Immortalized forever.
Absolutely. Yes. For those in the uninformed, the offer wall was it's still in the game on certain platforms, but not all. But I think the main crux of a lot of our issues was the unlicensed attempts to take us to external sites to grab our data, and I believe some other people had issues with how the dilithium rewards were handled. Some people not getting some. I know, Otto, you had a few other issues as well, and for the most part, they have been placated now, but it was a serious, at the time, very much like, hang on a minute, this is something that's spilling outside of the game that we didn't want.
Yeah, and the Adira change we've talked about, and the D&D Suit 2 Volk one, that one was just weird. Like, I know that they do like experimenting with their pricing structure and they're doing different packs, and it's like, I applaud that experimental verve, as it were. But sometimes you just kind of got to look at it and go, would I pull on that? Not with my developer distributed dilithium.
I just remember all the gnashing of teeth from the players who dropped like tens of thousands of dilithium for a blue crew. Like, I can understand if it's a crew you're going to use all the time, but the completionists must have been, absolutely.
But it's all about best value.
Best value.
Best.
I'm actually kind of shocked that
chance.
the EV Tuvok pack never made the good value or good deal, bad deal games that we played.
No, that's true.
Oh, don't worry, it'll come up next year.
Yeah, we'll get that.
Now, I feel like it is important here to say that while we bring attention to these things and we talk about them at length and we expound and we do our best to voice what the community is feeling. In each of these cases, WRG has made a good, concerted, and a well-rounded effort to actually address our concerns and talk with us about it, and they don't just stick their heads in the sand and go, "No, we're not going to listen." It's like they understand us, they're listening, and but Ben is like absolute proof of that. And for each and every one of these, they made a gaffe, and we're saying gaffe. It's not fuck up of the year.
It's a family show.
In the category of fuck up of the year.
I'd win that one easy.
You look at the demerit packs, or the EV Suit 2 Volt pack. There was also the Narek pack as well, which was also sort of 550 on it. But looking at the 2 Volt pack, and it was something stupid like an insane amount of chance to get him. The community did voice their concerns quite loudly about that one as well, and they said, okay, we're going to review how we look at these packs, and we haven't seen them again. So that's quite nice to know that although some people did spend a lot on them, it's not what we want to see.
Yeah.
By the way, I did see a couple votes come in from the committee for the Polywater Yar thing, even though that was like 2.5 years ago. That was so much juicy drama at the time. It stretched out for like a whole month. That almost made the list, but we had to keep it to the best of 2020. So
okay.
Guess what? When we're doing the show in another 10 years, then we can do our decade-long retrospective. When we've got 5,000 crew in the game and Ben is like sitting in his palace, and then we can have that conversation.
Living off our off our EV Suit Picard money, or whatever's next.
No name namer says, "Stop stars, you're not getting another war." That's what you think.
Yeah, not now.
That's what you think.
And next week Ben has cancelled. No, I'm joking. Okay, and the winner for this category, is, of course, it's the offer wall. It was the community decided.
Anyway, here's offer wall.
Yeah. Anyway.
So anyway, it's offer wall.
We must have made that joke on the stream. We must have.
I can't.
I'm sure Big
remember
McLarge huge did.
Okay.
All right, we got to do a parody song for that at some point.
We do. Shy Porn, if you're watching, that is your next challenge. No, I'll send that out to Shy Porn.
You and him should collaborate. You could do like a charity album. Perfect.
I'll get the best Noel Gallagher impression on.
Anyway, okay. Next category is
in the category of worst 2-skill legendary crew of the year. Mirror Kayla Detmer, Jamel, Linus Paris, Elnor.
Good God, there was some terrible crew this year, wasn't there? There was
You
some
know, we
bad
probably
ones.
have a dozen people watching this who have various number of these crew immortalized. They're like, what the hell are they talking about? I use them all the time.
As we always say, still voyages.
Makes voyages for me. So I want to think that it's really significant that, like, you know, we're saying, oh, these are some of the worst crew we've had this year. And Bones McCoy, the one skiller that got reduced this year, is not even anywhere near the running. So he just kind of underscores just how rough these crew are.
It's all about that base, baby. He basically beats out 3 skillers because you know you can add the and on the shuttle seat. His power is big enough that he still trumps them. So.
Paul Need asks why no binars. No binars because unless you were a maniac, I don't think they were this year. And also unless you were a maniac.
I thought they were last year.
This year is so long. Are you talking?
The committee is undecided.
Okay.
But unless you were a maniac and decided that you had to have the binars fused from their 6-pack, then like Idle, then or like you know,
I did do it for the 6-pack. I went to there in
the.
the portal. I'm not that mad.
Yeah, I was going to say. So that unlike you know, Idle and Garrick, who have waited until they've gone to the portal and then they built them because they have nothing else to do.
So this was binos were February of last year, so it's been almost 2 full years. In fact, I think they were that first gold fusion crew, and then Cheesecake 7 came along afterwards. So.
And Shyphone asked, why is Suspiria not here? Because it's 2 skillers, guys. It's 2 skillers, my man.
2 skillers. One
Two.
specifically that were in events that you would, for some reason, unless you really love the character, which some people do. I love Detmer. She's a great, I love that art. I love that mirror uniform. But I certainly know a lot of people who are looking at Elnor, myself included, and going, he's got nothing. No.
He's got a big sword, and for some people, that's all that matters.
For the Lord of the Rings fans, there are Lord of the Rings games for that. Here, we like our Star Trek.
Okay, so we haven't even talked about the crew. That's how boring they're.
We just don't want to have that conversation. Let's just talk. I was just going to call Idle out for, we don't like our fantasy stuff in Star Trek. Meanwhile, here are our space barbarians, the Klingons, and our space elves, the Vulcans. Like, come on.
None of that.
It is
none
the
of that
benchmark of how bad a crew is when we can't even talk about them. So, by the way, isn't Elnor? Oh,
we lost
we're a 2-skill show. We lost stars. We're the worst 2-skill show of the year.
We are. Is he outraged at my Lord? I love Lord of the Rings. Sorry, Stars. Please come back.
Okay, so I read this. I'm sure you can correct me on this. Elnor apparently in Elvish means Star Trek, right? I read it as some trivia somewhere. The name Elnor in Elvish, like Lord of the Rings Elvish, apparently they have their own language. It means Star Trek or something like that. So that was, I guess, it was a nod to them, but somehow that makes them worse for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Definitely of all the crew, he's my least favorite. I think looking at, hang on, we're just getting Stars back. Is he here?
And that concludes the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Are you okay there?
No, I was pulled off screen and told shut up.
I thought you'd left for my Lord of the Rings insults, but I thought you were that outraged.
Oh, I missed those. Thank God.
Okay. Anyway,
so if we can talk about,
I'm sure they were very, very impressive,
very witty.
For a hot second, let's actually talk about these crew. Kayla Detmer did pick it up late in the year with the Mirror Collection.
Very true.
Someone in chat mentioned Linus Paris does have a 65% gauntlet. That's true.
I'm sure there is some like green crew that also have that, but okay.
We may get some kind of Picard events in the future. Who knows? I think we only have 25 Picard crew in the game right now. So maybe Elnor gets some.
Romulan and Mega as well. I could absolutely see that.
Maybe Elnor gets some shine there, and then Jamel. I don't know.
If they've rerun the last 2, Mirror and Vulcan Megas, we could see another Andorian Mega. She would play out there, definitely.
See that?
Maybe.
Okay, there's our man in the field. No name namer says yes. In Elvish, El and Noor means star and Trek or star run.
Trek. That's as bad as Cochrane saying you're all kind of astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
That was good. That was the best part of the damn movie.
He Roddenberry's like surrogate like thing. That gets a pass every time. Do you have a problem with Q saying it as well? You filthy animal.
I was 12 and I rolled my eyes at that when I saw that.
I even would have been okay if they did.
How old were you?
If they did like a long zoom in on everyone's face after that one at a time, and just like some kind of Star Trek, and they're like, you know, the Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we announce the winner of this terrible category?
The worst
winner for worst two-skiller legendary crew of 2020 is Linus Paris. Yes, you can go. I still have it. I should I keep threatening to airlock her every week. Just so
you should have airlocked her on for this awards show just to make a point.
I really should
do it live on stream. You coward.
Yeah.
Okay, for our penultimate category of the night, we have...
In the category of Worf Variant of the Year, Age of Sail Worf, Eevee Suit Worf, Groom Worf, Tourist Worf. And now, to present the winner, live from the Klingon Monastery on Boreth, Mr. Stars and Garters.
So I have the results here, and I don't know if you can see, but I've written little hearts on them. And I feel like this is a very heartfelt category. I petitioned for this, oddly. And
there
there
were only 4 Worf variants this year, so that was pretty
only
easy
4.
to get them.
Poor Worf
I
gets
was
no
robbed.
love in the game, right?
Exactly, nothing. He gets nothing. I can't believe it. Doesn't even have a number 1 base. Like, come on. You guys have heard me talk about all of these guys at at extreme length, and if you want, I will be doing a TED talk about the wonderful munificence of our Lord and Savior. Watch out for that. It's Patreon content as well.
That's a great idea.
And
I would.
I'll have a slideshow going. It'll be great. You'll
crack a few jokes.
And I'll have guest speakers.
The Patreon fund is to get us to stop the show.
Kickstop this show. Kickstop it.
If only that were a thing. And please don't.
How much do I have to pay for that? Stop this from doing. So do you? Am I going to get 20 minutes to talk about each and every variant, or are you?
We got time.
We got 20 seconds.
Oh, they're all lovely. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna one of you guys left to the drum roll. I'm not hearing a drum roll.
I can't whack the deck.
You guys are useless.
Hang on.
You guys are. Oh, there you go. See. All right, and the winner is all of them.
What a cop out.
Congratulations to all of them.
All of them.
I just didn't realise I arranged this crew, the artwork. Has anyone seen, if you guys looking at the screen, just look where Eevee Suit's ball hand is. I didn't even notice that.
That hand is going to cause all sorts of problems.
Problems? I don't know. Have you seen what those things can do?
It's going to spawn a lot of fanfic, all right?
Definitely.
I've already written it.
That will be another Patreon feed. You can have a live reading of Stars' fanfic. Adults only. Our final category for tonight is...
In the category of Best Premium #1 Talk Show of the Year, Timelines Talks.
Oh, what it is. It's a tough category. There's been a lot of people this year come in for this one. The votes were very tight. There was,
so many deserving winners, really.
So many deserving winners and a lot of snubs. There couldn't have been any one, but I believe I have the award here for the #1 premium show of the year. It's Timelines Talks. Oh, guys, we did it!
Hey!
We did it!
Congratulations, fellas.
That makes this whole terrible year absolutely worth it.
I smell so lovely. I smell like roses. Who knew?
Can I take the suit off now? I can't. I think I'm losing blood supply to my head. Oh, that was our
So we
award
only have
show.
Why
about
you
2
do
hours
this, my
left to
friend?
go on the show.
Oh god, yes, we've got 20 more categories. No, not really. That was our award show, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. To serious matters. Serious matters? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going now. I can't.
Is
I
anything
can't
on the
breathe.
show serious?
No.
We didn't write any transition. We forgot our transitions at this
No, we
point.
don't have transitions. I'm just trying to get this top button undone and I can't.
Okay, everyone in chat, absolutely everyone's begging for an acceptance speech. So, Stars, since Idle's dying over their asphyxiation, why don't you give us our acceptance speech? You can accept the award on our behalf.
All right. Well, so this is our award. It's a lot of chocolate coins.
Yeah, I love chocolate coins.
Yeah, there you go. You can't go wrong. And you get the big one, Ordo. You get the nice big shiny one, and it's in proper English money. So we'd like to accept this award on behalf of us and our significant others, and the deal that we lost along the way.
Yeah.
And the bad big goal decisions we made along the way.
Many.
And the goals we didn't want from recaps along the way.
Yeah, these two can attest that they heard my significant other laughing at me as I was hanging this behind me before we started the show.
It's important to be able to laugh at your significant other. But really, like, the thing is that this show is nothing without our audience. It's nothing without
Absolutely.
you, the people at home. Because otherwise it would just be us watching ourselves and thinking, oh man, our viewers are going up. Just me opening multiple tabs. Look, guys, our view numbers are going up.
There was one show that was actually snubbed that we should have actually addressed, and that was Prime Line's Talks, which didn't get a nomination this year, unfortunately. But
We've got a cancelled pilot. That's the thing.
That's very
It's-
true,
we- the tapes are still at CBS headquarters.
Yeah,
We'll find
we'll
them
have to
eventually.
work out what happened. We'll get them on YouTube at some point, definitely.
By the way, I have now heard twice Idle's wife do a fantastic impression of Captain Idle introducing the show, better than Idle can do.
Oh,
So
yes.
at some
I
point in
believe
the
that.
future,
We did some
we're going to have his
streams, didn't
wife
we?
on doing the. Oh, it's going to be so good.
We did some sort of
Look
little
forward
private
to
streams, didn't we?
We do. We have a dusty annex of bits and jokes and segments that we taped and never used. So maybe some year we'll just play all of those for fun.
I think that's not the first time that flag's been out, is it?
Is that a euphemism? What? Oh, the flag. No, I used it for another
Yeah,
segment.
flagpole.
So
Not
Don't
as a
ask
wink
about
for a
flagpole.
blind bat.
I had to run it up the flag.
WRG Ben asked, what about best legendary crew of the year? Well, Ben, we already established that was TV Soup Wolf, so we didn't even need to give out the
that
award.
was. I thought that was clear. So I'm just tightening up my head.
You can't have a good award show without a few snubs. The snubs are what everyone gossips about afterwards. So.
We could do best crew, but it's more fun to do the fun stuff. Talk about you.
Well, you know what? Let's do an impromptu one, right?
Okay.
What's your favorite crew of the year?
Let's do rejected customer service tickets of the year live on stream, and then Ben can join us next week to announce the winner. How about that? Don't die over that.
My favourite Sunday.
I can't think of anything I want to do less.
Okay. Well,
Have
what
you
are
had
our
a grievance
criteria
or
for?
an accident in the last 5 years? Call our support helpline on 05186.
If you were
They
a
have
loved
to
one,
have been- No, stop it. Stop right now.
Those commercials. Okay, so if you guys don't live in the U.S., they love to do healthcare and lawyer commercials all day long. So the first time my wife came to the U.S., we were on the couch watching Price is Right, because what else can you do at noon in the middle of the day in the U.S.? So they had one of those commercials. If you or a loved one have been affected by mesothelioma, you may be entitled to financial compensation. And she's like, what are they talking about? I'm like, oh yeah, they play like 4 of these in every half-hour block. So, maybe
If
we'll
you
do
or a
some-
loved one have been accepted by like a heterocyclic declination, then call this number.
Oh, that's a spoof.
All right. We'll do some
If
parody.
you
We'll
or a
do
loved
some
one have
parody
been
commercials.
involved in a Voyager shuttle crash in the past 5 years.
Have you played an event
All
and
right, start
received a
writing
2
these
skill
down.
of without trying? Call now for compensation. For mere a 550 honour, you can be rid of this crew. Let's move on and talk about what we didn't do last time. But let's talk about this week's crew. For a mere rank of 1,500 in this week's Convergence Day special event, you could get yourself a Klingon K'Ehleyr. Sec Command Dib, she ranks Voy number 51. Not the most exciting of crew, but hey, it is Susie Blackstone.
Little known fact, she is the 51st state of the United States.
Ah.
So
I think it's the first president of the United States.
I'd vote for her.
I'd be okay with it. I'd vote for her.
The first female Klingon president. Oh yeah, I'd vote for her.
I could say something really uncouth right now, but I'm not going to.
I know, that's why there was that big pause. We're all like, are we going to go for that joke? No, we're not going to go for
yeah,
that
no,
joke.
it's like the fishing line descends and the bait is there, and we're like...
Hey, we're not the #1 premium talk show for nothing, all right? We leave the uncouth stuff to the side.
Yeah, no, we're classy. We're classy. We're wearing ties.
Okay, so this is not something, I hope this won't get me in trouble. This is not something we normally do. But there's been a lot of scuttlebutt on the forums on Discord about a Klingon collection. Someone said, oh, you know, the art is in the files, and I've seen it on Reddit a half dozen times by now. So if we do get a Klingon collection, maybe that bumps up her value. Now, we've had 3 months in a row with collections. Convergence Day on Ben's and Chet, hyping up all the goodies is going to spoil next week. Maybe we have more collections. Maybe one of them is Klingon. So if those rumors are to be believed... If those rumors are to be believed, we have over 80 Klingon crew at this point. So that could be a big collection, and maybe you want to snag some stars on what I would assume would be not a super competitive event. Now, a lot of people have those crew immortalized because they're pretty old, but I don't know, Galaxy in the New Year, maybe people's resolutions are not to spend that much time in a video game. I don't know. So.
Well, I think they've chosen an interesting crew to put up for if it is going to be a low participant event, because everyone loves K'Ehleyr. Everyone loves a bit of Susie Platt, and she's your equivalent of your Jeffrey Combs or your J.G. Hurts or Yvonne Armstrong. That she turns up every time, and every time you're happy to see her. She's good value, as I say, almost every time we talk about these people. And I feel like this was like a really iconic and good moment for her. I can only hope that we get you know what I was going to say. You know who I want to match. You know, I'm not even going to say it. But I love the art. I think she really could do with being a diplomat. I feel like that would make sense. I feel like that would be appropriate, because instead she is ambassador. Which is a strange distinction.
I've had this discussion with people before. What is the difference between an ambassador and a diplomat? Where is the fine line there?
I feel like you can be a diplomat without being an ambassador, but I feel like in order to be an ambassador, you have to be a diplomat.
An ambassador in the streets, a diplomat in the sheets? No?
Actually, I bought my wife a shirt that says Vulcan in the streets, Klingon in the sheets.
Yeah.
And it tickles my heart when she wears that one.
How often does she wear it?
She wears it from time to time.
When she knows no one should be seeing her.
An ambassador is what someone, as a representative, you send to another culture or whatever. A diplomat would be someone who has a hand in negotiations, right?
Which she did in
something
this
like
episode,
that?
didn't she? Because they were negotiating with the...
Well, I'm not saying that she shouldn't be. I'm trying to figure out the distinction.
She negotiated their surrender, technically speaking. Yeah.
She diplomated the hell out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe it's if you're empowered to speak on whoever sent you's behalf versus you're just there as like a cordial greeting or something. Hell if I know.
Anyway,
I think No Name Namer's already made a thread on the forums asking
yes.
for diplomat to be added. So
yes. This week's Galaxy, as always, has a community threshold, but there's different this time because it was a repeat of the previous Convergence Day.
Has it got a new hat?
Essentially it does have a pretty
new hat.
Substantial new hat. The top threshold, and I need to count the amount of zeros there are 10 billion VP to get the top 10 billion victory points to get that final premium threshold, which isn't a premium threshold. It is actually the Convergence Day threshold. The Convergence Day pack, which you can get a few on the way as well.
Best chance of Klingon Quark.
Yes, best chance
3 sticks of Klingon Quark.
It's so weird because you think this is great. This is a new reward scheme. This is new reward scheme. This is slightly exciting, and then you go, oh, it's Klingon Quark. Oh, it's Human Q. Oh, it's Convergence Day Quark. Oh, it's.
And by the way, those little pack icons you see in there are for the event pack, not the overall portal.
And if we get up to 8 billion, you can get yourself a Convergence Day Quark. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and hope we don't.
By the way, you look like the least threatening version of Rambo I've ever seen with that head. You look like Rambo's younger cousin or something that he let tag along to go blow up some bad guys in Vietnam or something. You got it wrapped around the headphones too, which is just like the cherry on
Rambo blows up Afghanistan, Idol blows up Guernsey.
And I'll do it again.
I am feeling a little Top Gun-esque with the glasses and the flag.
Really? Shocking.
And you're representing Rambo. So, Stars, which cheesy 80s movie are you doing?
Oh, God. It has to be strictly 80s, yeah?
I don't know. I didn't make up the rules.
Because I was going to say, you think this is the real Stars? It is. Like, that'd be my pick. That'd be my pick.
Didn't Schwarzenegger do some babysitting movie at some point?
He did, yeah.
I think he did like millions of them. If you mean Kindergarten Cop, then that's a good movie. That's all right.
Unless you're thinking of the Vin Diesel.
Who is your daddy and what does he do? No, I feel like that was wasn't that
Vin Diesel,
the Pandari champion himself, Rock
the Rock. Oh, he'll do any script you put in front of him, pretty much. What
can he say? Okay. He's welcome.
Okay, so the reward structure, 10 billion. Are you guys 100% sure we're going to hit that mark, or do you think we might fall short, or when do you think we're going to hit it? 10 billion is a lot of. That's what 4 times the normal.
I mean, when does it?
Have we ever not?
A usual galaxy gets finished generally day 2, doesn't it? Or at least for me, I usually wake up in the morning.
We've failed to hit it before, but that was before our times, I think.
Yeah,
it would have been back in like 2017, 2016.
Okay.
I mean, knowing how event thresholds work, like usually, I imagine someone at the top is probably going to do the majority of the work for us. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It depends on how smashed people are going to be on New Year's Day. I imagine, like if they're absolutely slaughtered on alcohol and New Year's resolutions that they aren't going to keep, then maybe we aren't going to get it. But otherwise, I think we're.
I don't know. I think when I'm hungover, I just want to stare at something and tap. You just want something simple and monotonous, just to take your mind away from the headache and the pain that you are in.
Expedition on New Year's Day.
And that's the end of Timelines Talks. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. No, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I can't say that I'm particularly excited by the crew on offer.
Skycab in chat says it is 10 times the normal standard galaxy reward. So I guess it normally goes to 1 billion. This goes to 10 billion.
Be interesting.
So do you think we can do 10 times?
Ooh, that's a bit of a different offer. That's a different prospect.
I think we'll get 6 billion if we do.
I don't think we're going to make it, no.
No. Interesting.
Not with that attitude. Fire up the mini gunship.
So what you're saying is you'll be dragging us into that 24th century. Which is
by the way,
Klingon K'Ehleyr.
We have some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. The 5th anniversary mini arc part 1 of 2 event news was just posted by Shan. 3 minutes ago. We have a full faction with existing crew, Warship ER, new crew Gray from Discovery, Klingon K'Ehleyr, and the ranked reward will be Kevin Uxbridge, the Dowd from Good Tea, Nice House. So the TNG episode that everyone's been requesting Kevin Uxbridge for a long time. He's pretty iconic.
There are tens of us.
There are ones of us. I've seen a lot of people asking for it. So this should be... Hopefully he's a good crew, because people have been asking for Kevin Uxbridge for quite a while. So
crew with the cultural figure trait. So if you take a pull on the 6-pack currently in the pool, you might end up with some good crew to help you out on that event. It's a wide pool. There's a lot of cultural figures. Hey, everyone who has a Lincoln.
Look at that.
Finally get to use your Lincoln.
The way they word this, a mini arc, is interesting. This is something new. I mean, I'm sure it's just going to be essentially a set of 3 or 4 events, but it's
Well,
one
it
of
says
2.
part
says
1
2,
of
yeah.
2. Literally the words right after mini
right,
arc.
okay, I'm scrolling through, all right.
And now the conclusion.
Yes.
We had that 2-part Borg event at the beginning of 2019. So we did have a 2-part mini event before.
Okay, that's
It's a mini mega.
They're throwing us live news.
I like it.
This is so exciting.
Okay.
By the way, we wasted Star's fantastic segue about cultural figures into the 6-pack. So
We did. And speaking of important cultural figures, there is no finer, more important cultural figure in the history of Star Trek than Socrates.
Than Abraham Lincoln.
Socrates. I believe he called himself. I think that's how he calls himself in that episode. I saw it not long ago.
Socrates. Otto,
Socrates.
you've had a bit of a history with this card. Please, why is he now your number 1 favorite card of all time?
Number 1 premium. Well, I wouldn't say he's my favorite of all time, but
the back down begins.
Yeah, I wouldn't even feed my dog food to him. We're not friends anymore. I hate this guy. No, the art absolutely grabbed me. It's like it looks like he's carved out of stone or ivory or something, and it just fits the cultural figure standard or the important figure of history standard, at least to me. It's really fantastic art. It's true to the episode. I went back and watched that before I pulled on his packs. And so I just had to get him. I don't know why, but it came to me. Well, I do know why. The art is great, but it came to me earlier today. What if they released a series of like chess piece type art figures? Because he to me looks like maybe a bishop, maybe a pawn. What if they did? Yeah. Well, what came to me was in Pen Pals when we see Picard on the horse talking to Deanna Troi. They could do someone on a horse as a knight. They could do King Hrothgar in Heroes and Demons, where Doc gets to play the hero and go save Beowulf Kim. There are so many. They could do like a whole series of crew, and that's something they haven't done before. They always release stuff, sort of singularly. What if they did a series of crew with a art motif? Would you guys like that? And what would you shoot for if you could request a certain art style?
Gosh. We're not prepared for,
Sorry, I'm
prepared for
putting you
this
on the
one.
spot here.
Yeah, that's a real pull right there.
I would
Well,
like
for me,
East
it would be the
Coins, what I
chess
think.
pieces. It would be the chess pieces. We already have Socrates in games, so
I would like that Picard where he's drawing the smiley face into the cloud as a Picasso.
That'd be good. I would like the crew, but they're done in the style of PS1 polygonal models, a la Star Trek Elite Force.
Oh, yeah.
Where some of them survive the transition, some of them look okay, but then you look at Tom Paris and you're like, that ain't Tom Paris.
Elite Force Tuvok, definitely.
And they end up in the top left. You have them doing their little Doom guy faces where they're.
And as an added plus, you only need like 5 pixels, so you could pump out the art real quick, one after another.
You could definitely
there you
plug the
go.
depths of the games, couldn't you? You could have a first Unity Picard, no, final Unity Picard, and then 25th anniversary.
I would love it if we got an Ensign Monroe card in timelines. I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah, but he's got a bit of a hack. He's actually got a transporter buffer in his pack. He can pull out anything, so all of his items are just going to be replicated.
I love that. I love that stuff where it's like in-game, in-universe justifications for like why video game stuff happens. Like, oh, it's like a portable transporter buffer. You mean that thing that should just exist in the show?
Yeah. What do you need today?
I will say, we may get a sort of a series of art if Lower Decks comes to fruition, and that's something that is a question submitted to us that we are going to ask Ben next week if we have any update on Lower Decks characters. So I assume it would be something like the animated series style that they've already worked in, but an ongoing show, we may get a mega, we may get a whole flood of those types of cards. So that's something to look forward to.
Shia Point points out, how does the Gadfly of Athens not have the scoundrel trait? It's true, he's Greek, he should have scoundrel. It doesn't matter who you are, if you're Greek, you're a scoundrel. That's how it goes.
What is it? The thoughts and opinions of stars and garters do not reflect this podcast.
Yes. Next week we are looking for some new permanent hosts.
That's fine. I can watch and throw popcorn.
Nope, because you're
so
back.
beyond the art, the big stat that jumps out is he's the number 10 Voyager. Of course, the downside is that skill set is pretty pretty filled out. We've had 4 previous Mega crew and 4 previous campaign crew who have command ipsi. So, he's going to be an improvement for you, but he may not be a huge improvement for you. But he's very, very oh God, Joe, WRG Ben, I'm Greek. Well, yes, scoundrel, you'll have a chance to rebuttal next week when you join us on Timeline Stalks.
I've never seen stars go so red.
Oh, that's just this. I haven't worn a tie in 2 years.
How many times have we insulted Ben and or the company in the last
It's been pretty
hour and
we're
20
pushing
minutes?
our luck now, aren't we?
And best flub goes to Stars of Goddess because I didn't mean what I said.
There will be an apology statement.
What do you care? You already got your Worf. You're like, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, you know what? I just immortalized him and said, there you go, I beat the game, I won.
There's going to be
He's gonna wake up. He's gonna be missing from your roster next.
There may be a statement coming out shortly in about a couple of weeks, and we're going to change the art on Stars and get him to cut his hair and give him a towel. And everyone gets a free Stars. Okay, that's enough of that analogy. Please talk more about Socrates.
That was so tortured. Oh my god.
I don't know. Stars got himself in trouble. I'm gonna let him get himself out. This is what happens when we read from the chat. It's not our fault.
Yeah,
it's the chat's
that's yeah. Okay, all right. Okay, if we're done with Socrates,
You know what? I'm happy
anything
to
more?
I'm happy to just take this one. I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'll take the hit. I got mine. Screw you all.
Solidarity.
Okay, British Rambo. Do we have anything left on the docket for today?
We do not. That is everything for this show for today. Before we go, should we do a
this year?
For this year, for this absolutely
year.
monumentous year, which has featured just about every calamitous event you could possibly think of, bar cats and dogs falling out of the sky. But there's a few more hours left, so keep your eyes out the window.
Okay, so I have to ask, who is going to be the first to make the? Oh, it feels like I haven't seen you guys in a year on the next show.
Big McLaughlin.
Who's going to be the first to it?
Yeah, Big was nearly on tonight's show. I think we've dodged a bullet there. We'll have to get him on for next time.
Dodged a bullet. We are the most abusive hosts in the history of #1 premium talk shows for Star Trek Timelines.
That will be the award next year. The most abusive host out of the 3 of us, I think, will. We should have done best guest. We didn't do best guest.
We did what, like 12
Ben,
categories?
obviously.
You got to save
Obviously,
things for
Ben.
next time.
Ben, what was that beer that Ben had? Was it like Space Metal
Space
Dinosaur?
Metal Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on,
and
how
I'm
do you
so
beat
getting my
that?
revenge next week.
It was a challenge,
I've
isn't
plotted for this for months. Space Metal Dinosaur is
shall be
taking a
exquisite.
fall next week.
Okay. Well,
Right.
before we
Can you
go,
play us off with a few beholder meters?
that's exactly what I was going to say. Let's do a couple of beholder meters, and let's spin the wheel. I haven't actually updated this for the portal yet, so we still need to do that. Okay, and
interesting.
I haven't got the sound either. So we have 0 stars on Dr. Chaotica. We have 3 stars on Interface LaForge, 2 stars on Prisoner Katrina Cornwall. This is an interesting one.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to anything you said. Now I got to wait for the stream to catch up. Chaotic?
So most abusive host goes to.
I don't need you guys, all right? I fly jets all day.
Dr.
Okay, it's on the
Chaotica,
screen
3
now.
star Interface LaForge, 2 star Katrina Cornwall.
I thought you were going to say something else there, and I was going to be really worried.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Cornwell here.
Okay.
Because +1 diplomat, she's still got a good voyage power. Love her character in Discovery. She's just a really, really solid card. Like I remember getting her out of her Mega, and I was like, "Wow, this is gonna get me through like a long while." She's only just stopped voyaging for me, but that's because I'm medic fiend, so you know.
I am totally taking Chaotica because I have a goal of finishing every vanity in the game So if I legitimately had this behold on my account, I would be taking Chaotica, and I would feel okay about it.
I think a lot of people in
You
chat
gotta
are
have
saying
goals in
LaForge.
life.
LaForge from chat, definitely. I think for myself as well.
Yeah.
But then
I
the
do
bigger
love the
star.
art on that LaForge. He is really cool. I was watching Bride of Chaotica not the other day, and it's like the actor that plays Kelman is so good. he is a perfect Ming the Merciless ripoff. He is just so over the top, and I can definitely see taking him just for the fun.
Yeah, Chaotica and Lunzeg both did a great job. No,
We're still
I
missing
used to
Constance Goodhart.
Yeah, both Constance Goodhart and the 7 of 9 version of Constance Goodhart, which would be cool. There you go. If they released a black and white series from the holodecks, that would be cool.
That'd be cool. I'd be all right with that.
So I have great memories of watching Star Trek, the original series, with my old man. We sit in the office. He'd fall asleep halfway through the episode. I'd lay on the floor. We'd watch TOS. We also watched the old, what's the Lost in Space? And those were bad. Some of those were really bad. Like I couldn't finish them bad. But I'll never forget the one. I'll never forget there's an episode where there's a sentient slot machine which chases them around the surface of the planet and is like vaporizes them with a laser beam. And it's like if you thought anything in original series was absurd, Lost in Space gets so much worse. So the vibe I get from Chaotica is that perfect, the 50s, the villain. It's like, it's so over the top. It is fantastic.
Okay, one other thing I'll say about Chaotica, we've move on because we do have to move on. I do adore that in Bride of Chaotica, they have that moment where, like, Janeway shoots him, he falls down by the death ray, and he gets electrocuted again because you have to have a double kill. And it's like, Eric, yeah, our love was not meant to be, but I will return. And then he dies, and they have a little conversation, and then you get the end, and then question mark while his laughter comes back, and then he does come back in season 7. I love it. So good.
I always love episodes when they roll the credits and then they play the music over. So like they did it for this, they did it for Cayman Picard. Was The Inner Light. He's sitting there playing the flute, and all you hear is flute and the engines of the Enterprise. I always love when they do the little alternate intros because it is. There's so many fan edits. It's like the perfect comedic sting where they do something funny and then you hear da 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 da, da at the end. But it is nice to have a little change of pace too.
Okay, let's spin it. Let's spin that wheel.
I think chat's on LaForge for that one. I can't blame him. He's the 3 stars. He'd be the best. Well,
they only make good choices. Make bad choices like us. Like like insinuating bad things about Greek people on your stream.
Yeah, or hanging American flags or playing British Rambo.
This is all as every week.
Not
this
playing
is
British Rambo. He is British Rambo.
It's very true. I'm on my way to a mission right now. Anyway, speaking of constant disappointments, 0 stars on Joseph Sisko, 4 stars on Merry Men Crusher, 0 stars on Mirror Crusher. Now, would you complete the set, or hello, cat, or would you go for one of the Mirror Crew?
Vanity, baby. I got to go with Vanity. And it lines up with, if you have P0s, always add a star. And it lines up with the best stat choice. So I think she's a slam dunk here, right?
Is she holding like a wooden sword?
Don't do that.
Well, she's holding whatever Q gave them when he teleported them into the fantasy. So maybe it is a little wooden dagger. I don't know.
And Crusher just has a knife on her in case Picard tries to get fresh.
Excuse you, I think you'll find that it'll be the other way around. Captain, this is like, it's been so long.
Duty, starship, children. Just says those 3 words.
You should just have a soundboard for Picard saying stern things, Make an ass of us.
Make an ass. Yeah, you were literally about, I'm a role model.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I'm something of a role.
So we had this conversation the other day. Shouldn't Will Scarlet, that version of Worf, have musician? Because when he smashes that wooden instrument against the rock, it makes a noise, right?
Drummers
so he should be a musician.
Donk. Sorry.
I'm a very man.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say I'm okay with him not having a musician because he has Hero, because he saved everyone from Geordie's music. And I'm okay with that.
The real hero.
Yeah, finish Crusher on this. Like,
one more. Let's cap off the year with
One more. Very final beholder meter of 2020. Let's hope it's a good one. And if it sucks, I'll re-roll. Okay.
Reroll.
I don't like
Re-roll. That was. We need a talker. We need a talker. Let's have a look for a talker. No. Let's try that.
How about we re-roll 2020?
Let's re-roll
2020 is an all frozen behold.
Okay. This is an
Yeah,
interesting
it
one.
is.
1 star on Cole, House of Core. 0 stars on Smitten Picard. And 0 stars on Commander Kira Nerys.
I just caught up with the stream. You re-rolled over J.G. Palmer.
I
What is
did,
wrong
because it
with
was
you,
against
Idol?
Neelix. That was such an easy one.
Well,
talker,
yeah, no
we
one
wanna-
would take Neelix there, but
Oh, yeah,
even
of course
so.
not. No, everyone take J.G. Palmer.
I feel like this is gonna be a slam dunk for Kira, right? She's such a fox.
The artwork, yeah, for artwork, fantastic. And favorite variant.
Are
of
you
Kira.
me? What?
I'm sorry, but like Nana Visitor does it for like, men on both sides of the equation.
This is Freaky Friday.
Maybe.
The
Well,
girls
come
go
on, make
crazy
an
about a
argument for either
short-dressed
the other
man.
two. Make an argument for the other two, can you?
I mean,
Apart from meme Picard, I guess.
I mean, Picard,
but-
it's yeah, and you know, okay, 2-skiller, but he gets the events. Cole is
Does he?
Cole. Well, he might. I mean,
bit
no,
of coal in your stocking.
he does. He not lately,
He'll
anyway.
leave you feeling cold.
Mine was so much better.
Oh.
Like we just had Christmas, and it actually uses his name. Whatever. We got to write these down ahead of time.
Yes, our show notes.
Well,
which
do
are,
prep.
do
I
awards.
put on a tie. That's all you're getting at me.
I that's true. I couldn't believe we got Stars and Garters in suit and tie. This has definitely been the highlight of 2020. I've been campaigning for Smitten Picard to be the highlight of a romantic February mega. Like, would that not be the perfect
Yeah.
poster boy for it?
That'd be a good one, actually. I'd agree with that.
We did have a romantic trait this year as well. So
Mhm. You could have Riker from that episode in his very puffy, casual wear.
Is he wearing a pink shirt in that? I can't
I
remember.
can't remember. It's definitely something garish though. It's like this is the
Yeah.
fashion of the 24th century. Like really?
Hey man, it's
the
a more enlightened
fashions of
time.
the
You can wear whatever you
24th
want.
century are somewhat different.
You see, we don't believe in dignity. We wear bus seats. Cut to Jake Sisko.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who looks like who looks like the fashion of a UK bus in the 80s?
All right.
Okay.
We agreed to end it on this one.
We
Chad
did.
is split.
Chad is split.
Pretty split. Picard and Kira.
Picard and Kira. And
It's got to be Kira. Like, so I want to bring up a thing with you, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but I feel like you are the people to ask, right? So you know how you'll often, like, especially from like with TNG onwards, like I think not so much with TOS, although they had its own like different variation of it. They always have the one female crew member who wears a non-standard uniform. You have Troy in her unitards, and you have like Seven in hers, and you've got it's a thing, DePaul as well. Do you not find them more attractive when they're actually in the Starfleet uniform anyway?
a little bit. I don't know why.
This is a guy's club. Are we going to sit here on the day before New Year's and talk about how attractive we find the women in uniform?
Look, I'm
Can you
just
think of
saying,
anything
if we
better?
get like, I thought maybe I should commission someone to just get like borderline like shirtless art for Worf, and then put the pants that he's holding in tourist Worf's art, and then put them on him. I'll be happy with that. See,
we are
there you
going to
go.
do
It's
it.
equal opportunity. It's equal opportunity. It's equal opportunity.
Yes, the uniforms are great, which is what there was some behind the scenes. I think it was on the Star Trek TNG DVD collection. They're interviewing Ronald Moore, one of the writers for the behind the scenes, and he said, yeah, Jellicoe was a hard ass and no one liked him, but the best thing he did was get Troy in a uniform. So I think even in the writer's room, They preferred her in uniform. So there you go.
Well, it's this like equal opportunity thing of like, yes, you should treat them exactly how you would like a male crew member. They should be like in a professional setting. It's like it's demeaning to have to wear like a skin type body condom that's probably quite uncomfortable. It's like especially with Jerry Ryan, where it got her like what caused her like pass out a few times, the silver one that she originally wore.
Comfortable, was it?
And it's like, and then you slide over to the other thing where like they just they look just as like gorgeous in the uniform. You're not diminishing who they are. Guess what? Jerry Ryan looks good no matter what you make her wear. She knows she looks good. Let her
Alternatively, they should have continued the man skirts that they had in Star Trek TNG Season 1 throughout the whole year. That should have been like their dress uniform, ambassador clothes. It should have been the guys in dress uniform skirts. Yeah.
That should have been, for people watching Discovery, there was an episode where Culber's talking to another... I won't spoil anything major here. Culber's talking to another person from 32nd Century, and they've got a hologram of someone in a very similar uniform, and I'm going to say, for anyone that's in Discovery, that should have been a skirt.
That should have been the scan. Yeah, no, I think that would have been hilarious. That would have been amazing.
But, okay.
Ben, I know I've offended you, and I apologize. Like
He's
I
not
said,
even.
Oh, here we go.
I said
thing turned
Where were you 10 minutes ago?
But can we have Wolf in a Scant? Can we have Timeline's Originals Wolf in a Scant?
Warp on Etrell.
I mean, I'll take that as well. But
standing behind the ops console or something.
How did Q never do that? I feel like Q would have done that at some point. I would have.
We have to get naked Q, right? At some point.
Red alert.
Red alert. Okay, let's put this show on.
All right, we're done.
I'm going to say goodbye, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to us through the year. Thank you for coming to our award ceremony, and we'll hopefully be doing this again next year and many more things. So from myself, from Auto, and a sincere apology from Stars, we will see you next year.
Love you all.
Hang on, we forgot to mention. Don't run away. Don't run away. Come back. Ben is on next week. Questions are now closed. This is perfect.
If we don't have a gag reel yet,
he is on next week. Questions are closed, so we will see you then. Bye. Right, run away. No, quick. Don't mute everything. Bye. Ta-ra.